We're live, we're live, we're live, we're live. How's everyone doing? How are we all doing? Beautiful sunny day, 30 degrees, more or less. Super hot. I am sweating. I had to wear a vest all day, and yeah, but it feels good. You know, we gotta appreciate these days because winter is coming. We already went past Capricorn, and it's, you know, the longest day of the year is already over. You guys don't realize, but the longest day of the year has already gone. Now we're descending onto autumn and then winter, then we start the whole cycle again. And what's really interesting is that this itself is so natural, like being super hot and so cold. It's a very natural cycle, but at the same time it isn't, because the extremity from one to the other isn't natural. When before, you could say back 200 years ago, maybe even 100 years ago, Scotland used to grow grapes. Scotland used to grow grapes. Isn't that insane? And to think that Scotland used to grow grapes, it has, for any country to grow grapes, it has to be really hot. It has to be a really hot country. So for Scotland to grow grapes goes to show that the weather is changing, but it doesn't mean that it's changing for the bad. It's just a cycle, isn't it? Like, people try to go on about global warming, but is that really a thing? Like, I don't believe global warming is a thing at all, personally speaking. It's how I hold the mug. It's a beautiful mug. So yeah, before you could say Saturn crossed Jupiter, we used to be in spring, summer all year round. Like some countries are, for example, Brazil, Latin America, they don't have cold weathers. Australia, they don't have cold weathers like they do now in the UK. And it's really interesting to think UK, England, and certain parts of Europe just being a consistent temperature all year round. It's actually beautiful to think about. But yeah, now going on to diets. I reposted that video that I done regarding the heel old tea. It's a beautiful tea, and I've collected some. This is the perfect time for you to collect every tea you can. Right now it's the season for heel, cloves, as well as horsetail. If you guys have anything to do with, if you guys want anything to do with your hair, horsetail, collagen. If you need collagen, you can drink horsetail. Horsetail has plenty of collagen. Why is my screen gone dark? Okay, why don't I think global warming is a thing? Because it's just a natural cycle of the universe, just a natural cycle of life. Like I said, if you look back a couple of hundred years ago, Scotland used to grow grapes. Why is that? Why does Scotland used to grow grapes? Because it used to be a hot-ish country. You know, it had a more of a stable climate. That's why I don't believe. No, I know. There's no point in saying, no, I don't believe, or I don't think so. No, I know. This is just a natural cycle. It's very simple. It's a natural cycle. It's a natural cycle of the universe for it to get really hot, to get really cold. People just believe that, like, for example, if you look at the Sahara Desert, right? Egypt and all those desert countries that used to be wastelands, that used to be a fruitful area. That used to be one of the best areas. You know, for whatever reason, something happened that we don't know about, and it now became a wasteland. And other areas started, you know, sprouting, you could say. But for sure, if you look at all these other areas, all these other countries that are desert lands, they were and they used to be very fruitful. If you guys know anything about Tartaria, there's a little hint for you. Anyway, right now I'm drinking my copper mug Copper is extremely good for you. One of the most interesting facts that actually won me over about copper is that if you leave water inside copper, right, and you leave it for a week, 2 weeks, the water will not go stale. Most other coppers, cups you put your liquid in, if you leave water in them, it will go stale. It will start to even go brown at times. You get that little horrible gummy and mold on top of the water. But with copper, it doesn't do that. With copper, you leave any liquid inside copper, it will prevent it from going stale, prevent it from going moldy. And a lot of farmers, what they are actually doing, and back when farming used to be an actual thing and more people used to farm everywhere, everyone was farming, people used to leave the water out for the cattle, and they used to just put a copper rod in the water to prevent the water from going, breeding bacteria. Because if you think about it, several cows drinking out of this water well, eventually something's going to drop in there and it starts growing bacteria, right? So they used to put a copper rod inside of it. So if you want to keep the water fresh for longer and also get some benefits from it, the best thing to do is drink copper. Very simple, very easy, it's not complicated, right? If you're going to drink water, why drink out of a mug? Drink out of this. Following on to the next topic, fruits and herbs. I actually had to make a list this time because, at times I just ramble on. So for me, I have to make a list. Fruits and herbs. Fruits and herbs. I just found out, I'm doing some research, parsley. If anyone eats parsley, if you're a woman and you're into eating parsley, avoid it completely. Please. Parsley will make you infertile. Parsley is actually a natural fertility killer. So if a woman was planning on not having any babies and she wanted to get a natural abortion, she would eat parsley. Wow, who would have known that, right? Who would have thought a herb that they sell in the supermarket that everyone eats and everyone tells you to add it in your salad, and it's heavy metal detoxing, whatever, parsley. If you eat parsley as a woman and even as a man, it will make you infertile. If you have a baby and you eat parsley, you're slowly asking for that baby to come out and you have a miscarriage. So avoid parsley. I'm not saying parsley doesn't have any benefits. It obviously does, but you have to be smart, right? Personally, I don't drink parsley anymore. As soon as I found that out, I'm done with parsley. Forget about parsley. Parsley, right now on this age where we're living, 2025, everything on earth is trying to make you infertile. Everything. From food to drink to whatever, right? Everything is to make you infertile, is to make you lose everything you have inside you so you cannot make any more children. Which is another really interesting topic, because back 100 years ago, having 10 kids was normal. 50 years ago, having 5 kids was normal. Now, having no kids is normal. What? How is that happening? And if you look at any videos on TikTok, and these are so bots, you can tell these are organizations that are being paid to completely sorry, I'm reading the comments. It distracts me. You see, that's why I can't read comments. That's why I got to stay on focused on what I'm talking about. If you think about it, 100 years ago, having 10 kids was like completely normal. And yeah, you could talk about how it's, money or whatever, but I've truly believe we've all just been programmed to believe that, right? Because if you look at Europe, especially Europe, compared to other countries, we're the only country that actually helps you if you have several kids. Germany, England, all of Europe, if you have kids, you get money for it, right? So what's truly stopping people from having kids is just in their mind. And most people are depressed because they don't have kids. They can't even think about it. If you think how people are so mischievous, So promiscuous, I can't remember the word. Promiscuous. People that have sex with a lot of people, right? It's the best. I'm just gonna cut it simple. If you have sex with a lot of people, have you ever thought that you truly are looking to have a kid, right? Hello, Anna. Hello, Anna. Think about it. If you're using your organs, your sexual organs, with another person's sexual organs, and you are having intercourse with that person, what are you doing? Because really and truly, you should be trying to have a kid with them, right? If you're someone that's very sexual and you want to have sex with multiple people, that just means you want to have multiple kids. That's what it is. If you have a dog or a cat, technically you want another kid. You want a kid. Like if you see a lot of people, middle-aged people, and they have like 10 cats or 5 dogs, it's because they want another kid. Oh shit, my device heating up. Hold on, I need to put it more in the shade. I'm trying to get a nice view in the sun, but it's very hot. I need to put this blind down. Hold on, guys. Oh, it's hella dark now. Whatever. Otherwise my phone's going to burn. It's going to stop the live. Alright. Yeah, so if you look at people that want to have like 3, 5, 10 dogs, 6, 8, 10 cats, really and truly they just want kids. And it's hard to accept that. I get it. It's hard to accept that. But that's kind of the reality of things. Anyway. Exercising as well. My mind has completely changed regarding exercising. Anna, it's nothing religious, okay? So my profile picture is nothing religious. It's just Saturn. If you look at the symbol for Saturn, which is the one of the astrological signs, that's what it is. Because I was born during Saturn. I'm a Capricorn, so I think it makes sense and I think it looks nice. So if you look at exercising, every exercise that's mainstream is actually bad for you, right? So you see those running clubs, you think about it, that's actually really bad for you. Imagine how stressful running is, right? Because naturally we as humans are not meant to run a marathon. Only if you're in danger and you're running away from something that's extremely harmful to you, like a lion or a bear, or something trying to kill you, you're running away from that. But you're running for no reason down a pavement, like a paved road, right next to cars. Your body's going under a lot of stress. For what? Because your body doesn't understand that you are running as for fun and for exercise. Your body believes that you're running away from something that's trying to come after you. And when you see people that have runner's high, the runner's high is what you get after you finish running. And the reason you get that is because your body is trying to reward you from just living, because he thought you were running away from a dangerous situation. And now you're like in a safe place, and it releases these endorphins that he's trying to tell you, like, oh yeah, you're safe now. And that's why you feel good after the run. It's not because you just done exercise and you're like, oh yeah, now I'm good. Nah. And the more stress you put on your body, unfortunately, the more wrinkles you're going to have. And I realize that, like that's why they promote gym so much. That's why gym is so heavily promoted. And I'll seriously suggest people to cut back on going gym. Going gym every day is not good for you. I know it's hard for people to believe this and understand this, but going gym every day is really bad for you. I remember years ago when I was about 18, I read somewhere, a Japanese doctor, he said your heart only has so many beats. Your heart only has so many beats before it gives up. I'm gonna put this back up because I like the lighting. Your heart only has so many beats before it gives up. And you're done for, pretty much. So by you exercising, you're just speeding that up. And at the time when I heard that, I was like, nah, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy, he does have no idea what he's talking about, right? But now that I've actually grown, and matured, you could say, and that's my mind, there must be a shift going on, because my mind is like, I'm changing a lot as it is. My mind has actually realized that, you know what, there might be some truth to that. Everything mainstream is done intentionally. Everything mainstream is done intentionally to make you think a certain way and for you to do certain things. If you look at people that take a lot of testosterone, right? If you look at people that are taking steroids, for example, like testosterone steroids, the reason people get very spotty when they take testosterone steroids is because testosterone itself is a antioxidant. And I just found this out. So for me, again, my blind was blown when I found this out. And it makes complete sense, because if testosterone wasn't an antioxidant, right? And what antioxidant does, it helps your body heal, and as well removes any harmful toxins from your body. So by testosterone being an antioxidant, when these big guys get very spotty when they start taking these steroids, specifically testosterone, and they get very spotty, they have all these acne, the reason for that is because testosterone is an antioxidant, and it's the body pushing out all the toxins in the body, and that's why they get all these spots everywhere. It's because their body isn't clean. People believe it's just a side effect from taking steroids, and it's not. It's more than just a side effect. It's your body telling you that, hey, you got a lot of toxins in your body, I'm pushing it all out, right? So when you exercise, that's what I'm going to. When you exercise, you're actually reducing your testosterone. So for all the men here watching, if you exercise several times a week, you're going to have low testosterone. And it's not because the food you're eating, it's because of the way you're exercising. You're overdoing it. And when after you exercise, you have this spike in testosterone in your blood, and you think, oh yeah, this is, and then you do a blood test, and you think, oh yeah, like, you see, I just exercised and my testosterone went up. That means that exercising gives me more testosterone. No, it's a stress response in your body. That's why your body releases testosterone after exercise, because you put your body under stress, and it releases antioxidants, aka testosterone, into your blood, right, to fix what you've done, and you reduce the testosterone intake in your body. Like, it's insane, man. It's insane. You've been brainwashed. Not just you, but me, the guy next door. Listening to this man, I've been following him since 2022. Mehmet, I appreciate you. I really do. It's a lot. It's honestly a lot. Like, I don't know how I get all this knowledge, but it just comes to me and it makes so much sense, I need more of this. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, we really need to be cautious about how we're doing with our body. Like, it truly is scary, and like running, like I said, running is terrible for you. And even salt is a sensitive topic, right? Because salt itself, I believe, has some benefits, okay? But what is salt? Salt is a rock, right? Depends where you get it from, of course, but salt is a rock. Himalayan salt is from caves. It's from massive caves in Pakistan. It's not even in the Himalayas, in Pakistan. And they use what do you call it? They use TNT to detonate these these salt mines, right? And then they extract it out, and then they package it up and send it to Europe. Thinking about it, what has it got traces of? TNT is, first of all, a dynamite, so it's going to be toxic because it's going to have traces of, you know, chemicals everywhere. Secondly, it's a rock. You're adding rock to your food. Isn't that a bit backwards, adding rock to your food? What minerals can rock have for you to add it to your food? Celtic sea salt, that is probably the most interesting one. Celtic is actually, if the name itself, if I might be wrong here, okay, I'm not far-fetched because I remember reading about this. It's from it actually comes from a group from the Celts, which is like a group of people that used to travel around, and they had the salt that they gathered up and they started selling it to Europe and everywhere else. The best salt, I believe, is sea salt, natural sea salt, but you have to be a specific place because sea salt from the UK is not the same as sea salt from a remote island in the middle of nowhere, you see, because you have to look if there's contamination in the water or not, as well as the salt itself in the water has trace minerals, but the process it goes through reduces those trace minerals. So it's a bit of a sensitive topic. You know, it's more of a here or there, just using very small amounts, because if you're using large amounts, it can be quite opposite for you. Like, for example, if you take salt in your mouth, if you just put salt in your mouth, what's the first thing you want to do? Is drink water, because salt dries. That's why if you put salt in any vegetable or any meat, it dries the meat out, because salt just sucks moisture out. So by you putting salt in your body, it's just sucking out the moisture in your body. So you have to keep that in mind, that too much of it is going to dry you out and potentially create wrinkles in your face. So if you want to avoid having wrinkles, reduce your salt intake, reduce your exercise, you know. Like if you go to the ocean, you bathe yourself in the ocean water, and then you dry yourself in the sun. What do you think is happening? The sun is hitting your face, it's hitting your arms, it's hitting your hands, it's hitting your whole body, and that salt is being absorbed into your skin. And that's why when you see your times, you have like white flakes on your face, because it's the salt from the sea around your face, around your body. I'm not saying you shouldn't go in the water, but you know, like everything in excess is bad for you. Like too much every day, I wouldn't recommend it. Being in the sun for several hours a day also is going to create a lot of wrinkles on your face. Like if you have really dark darky, what do you call it? Dark eye bags, that's it. If you have really dark eye bags, that's a sign of malnutrition. You know, I'm just letting you guys know, because you see a lot of people, they have a lot of dark circles around their eyes, and that shows a lack of nutrition, you see. Yeah, exactly. It's a lack of nutrition. It's a lack of many things. For example, we've been accustomed to eating steaks, mussels, right? Just mussels, steak, rump, sirloin, all these things. What minerals do they have? They have no minerals at all. If you think about it, really and truly, what mineral can a mussel give you compared to a liver, a kidney, a brain? You know, there's a lot to think about there. Anyway, I've been talking for far too long. I appreciate everyone joining the live. I'm going to give it an end now. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.